what it is about having a camera on. I always climb up, you know what I mean? It's like...
Is it on?
It is.
Okay, hi.
Hi, I'm Steve Miller, and this is a friend, a longtime friend actually, at least 5-ish, 6 years, something like that, is when we started working together.
Yeah, 2003.
03,
That's 9 years.
almost 9 years.
Yeah.
Bad counting.
Yeah.
Anyway, we are here today to talk a little bit about a business, and this business is doTERRA. And what we want to do is I'm going to have Doug, we're going to talk a little bit about how we got here, which I think is kind of an interesting story that a lot of people can relate to.
And actually, that's your story, because
It is kind of my story,
it starts.
isn't it?
Yeah, it starts about a year and a half ago when we popped in. My wife and I popped into your office. You were selling insurance. We said, "Steve, we found these amazing oils. We're doing the business. You got to join us." And you said,
It's interesting. I'll see how it goes.
"See you later." So then, fast forward to a little while ago, about 2 months ago, we said, "Hey, Steve, we're using the oils. They work. We're making money. Is this a good time for you to consider jumping on board?"
Yeah, and that's when we kind of I thought, you know what, he really piqued my curiosity at that point, and I decided, you know what, I need to pull back some layers and figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
And then Doug kind of showed me behind the curtain, and I think the thing that was really compelling for me is visiting the office. We are probably a mile and a half away from the home office, and Doug scheduled a meeting there with somebody that he works with, and man, I went to the office and I was shocked and amazed. It was just a buzz.
A buzz.
And this was before Christmas, so there was a line.
Yeah. It's
A
huge.
line of probably 30 people or more
Yeah.
waiting to get their stuff.
Yeah, that was doTERRA will call, right? And that's people create their orders and they show up. There's a lot of local folks, but what you didn't see is the volume that went out the back in
Exactly.
the shipping.
Yeah.
doTERRA broke 100 million in December.
100 million.
Yeah, that was for the year, 100 million. That's what's so cool about it, is still small, but it's wearing its big boy pants.
It's relative, right?
Yeah.
$100 million is nothing to sneeze
$100
at.
million for a little company that started 3 years ago.
Mhm.
Yeah, and we're part of it. That's what's really cool.
Well, and the nice thing, so here's kind of where this comes together, and that is to say, so Doug approached me, as you know, I suppose we all have been approached at some time or another by somebody else with a business opportunity of sorts. And at that point in time, I was managing an insurance agency. I owned the insurance agency, and I was doing it full time. And I thought, you know what, I've got to keep my eyes on the wheel, and I don't foresee me being able to do this at this point. Plus, I don't think I really understood it very well.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is, you know what, I guess I had some natural resilience to kind of network marketing.
Right.
I think I just, you know, most of us, I don't know, we kind of build a stereotype and say, you know what, I don't know if I fit that mold.
Well, I know I did. I mean, I've always wanted to own a business. Since I was 12 as a paper boy, I always wanted to have my own business. I could never figure out how to capitalize it. And I've had jobs where I made a lot of money. I mean, a lot of money, 6 figures, right, in a year. And I could never get out of those jobs enough to, when I had the money, to do something different. It was like, you know, you're so busy with making the day job thing. And so it's like this constant tug of war. And so when my wife and I found out about doTERRA, we realized that we had a paradigm shift. The products are really great. They work. And it's not a single product. It's not like you're going to drink a juice. It's like there's a whole bunch of products that do a whole bunch of things. And we recognize that, you know, we're getting a little older and you can't work forever. And there's a whole set of alignment with what's happening in medicine and healthcare. And we really liked all that we saw. Compensation plan's fabulous. The people that run doTERRA, there's 7 of them. They're amazing.
I'm going to say something about the compensation plan because I had seen other compensation plans.
Yeah.
As I have a friend that was using one in particular, I won't say the name, but he's always complaining about the fact that he doesn't have enough in one group as he does in the other, so therefore he's not making the kind of money that is. And the thing that really kind of sparked my interest here is that you don't have this, you've got to play this balancing game. It's like, you know what, if you have success here, you're going to capitalize on that success. If you have success over here, it's going to capitalize, you'll capitalize on that success, and we're not going to hold up one opportunity for success at the expense of the other opportunity for
Yeah.
success.
And that's true. With doTERRA, you get paid on your volume to a certain level. So you go down 7 levels. And the fun part about doTERRA is you get paid more on the 7th level than you do on the 1st level. So they want you to build few legs, 3, 4, 5, 6 legs, and they want you to drive those down deep. And as a matter of fact, our team, as you know, is Team Center of the Earth, because we believe that driving those legs is direct sales, drive them deep as they can go, because we help as many people as we can.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and that is kind of a way of helping those people that join your team to be successful.
Right.
It's like, you know, instead of having a whole bunch of people struggling, you've got a fewer number of people that are succeeding. So it's a synergy that you can work with.
Right. You also have a lot of people in your line, regardless of whether it's up or down, that you can either get assistance from or support, and that really helps. So I had a meeting last night, for instance, with a group of 5 direct levels, right? Leaders in 5 direct levels, and we simply talked about their next game plan for next month, and it was pretty compelling because I got to say, there's 5 levels of people that really understand it, really get it, really love the product, and are doing a really great job.
Right.
How can I help? That's very cool.
Right.
Totally different than my job where I work for my boss and I help him. And I have a him boss, by the way.
Yeah. And as you know, anybody that's collecting a paycheck, you are generating income for that organization, whether it's a sole proprietorship, whether it's a publicly traded company, whatever it is, you're a wheel in that cog, and you had better be profitable, or it's not likely that you'll have a job very long. But you are profitable and you are making money for the organization. Not to say that doTERRA is not making money, it would be foolish to say that's the case.
Right.
However, you become your own entity, you become your own business. Your success and what you bring to that role is what pays you. And as you succeed and as you grow, so does your income.
That's
As
right.
opposed to a business, you know what, you might get a raise, whatever, but it's not going to be in the same proportion as, say, joining a business.
Yeah, you definitely get rewarded for your own effort in how you talk to people about the product, how you support a team, and how you lead people. And you can do any of those and work on the money aspects. The comparison for me with a regular job, and I have a job, I like my job, I like my boss, I like where I work, is that I don't have any leverage. And what I mean by leverage is I don't have any money leverage because I can't go out and borrow money or make money that I can invest in some other thing. With my doTERRA business, I can.
No matter how successful you are at your work, you can't, you know, essentially give yourself a pay increase. Even if you decide to reinvest in that employer, you're still somewhat limited. You're hitting that ceiling in terms of
Exactly.
how much success you can have.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna get a raise this year, and I'm gonna get a bonus this year based on the average, not on how much I contributed.
Right.
And with doTERRA, our paychecks are how much did we influence and lead our team, and how much did we move the needle to help doTERRA go forward. And that's a total different thing. My wife's actually just wrapping up another business that we had, and she'll be going full-time to doTERRA. I'm part-time with doTERRA. We're making enough money that it's got our interest, and again, we feel really good about the product, but the compensation plan, the business aspect of it, makes it really easy. Again, I use the product's work, and I make money, is something that not every network marketing company can say. And we've looked at some other network companies before, network marketing companies, And you got to really love that product to be able to talk to people about it. You have to get over that hurdle to say, oh, this product is going to help you in some way. And you know, if you're selling candy or you're selling trinkets or you're selling earrings or you're selling facial stuff, sometimes it's really difficult to have that honest conversation because you may not emotionally believe that that stuff actually moves the needle. But this stuff moves the needle. You may not have an illness or a sickness or an issue now, but you will next week. Or you may be coming off an issue. And this is really easy stuff to talk about. I mean, that's the point. Easy to talk about.
It is good, and it kind of goes back to my visit to the company, and I think that's kind of where the needle for me kind of moved a little bit more towards a favorable aspect of the product.
Right.
And you know, in terms of just the scents, that scent, S-C-E-N-T, scent, smell,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
the smell of it at the home office, they were, were aerating it.
Yeah, diffuser.
Diffusing it, and you know, as somebody that likes candles and somebody that likes pleasant smells, it was impressionable.
Yeah.
I really like it, and I can see why the internet is just exploding and literally blowing up with essential oils and, you know, this diffusing and aromatherapy, which is an integral part of the whole essential oils business.
Absolutely. You really hit it. There are some grades of essential oils that we've known about for a while. The first grade really is called synthetic, and they make it synthetically. So there's a lot of products out there that have a synthetic wintergreen, and that's an essential oil, wintergreen. The next grade is called GRAS. It's called generally accepted or recognized as safe, GRAS standard, and they put that in food. Generally recognized as safe.
Generally.
So if you pick up some wintergreen gum, it's typically got synthetic wintergreen in it. Or some spearmint gum, it's typically got some synthetic spearmint. The next level is called therapeutic, and generally it's regarded that has some therapeutic benefit for your body, either topically or aromatically. You put it on your skin, or you can smell it, put it in the air. And doTERRA took that a step further with a grade called Certified Pure Therapeutic Grade. So it's a step up from therapeutic, and it's pure oil. So this particular bottle is wild orange. This wild orange,
which really smells good.
Yeah.
I mean, I can smell it from here. That it just
it's yummy, isn't it?
And you were showing me in some literature here that orange oil is an aromatherapy, and it really has kind of an interesting effect on
Uplifting effect.
Yeah, just the smell of it in the air is calming. I don't know how else to put it.
We use it for anxiety and stress. It's kind of a mood oil.
Huh.
You can also put it in your water to drink. It helps your body. But this certified pure oil doesn't have any synthetics, doesn't have any fillers. What I mean by that is trying to enhance it. And it's just 100% pure. They test every batch to make sure it's pure wild orange. And they also buy it where it's indigenously grown. That means they buy the oil where it's grown naturally, because it turns out where it grows naturally is the place where it grows the most potent or most powerful.
Huh.
So for instance, the peppermint, everybody loves peppermint. If you don't believe that, go Google peppermint essential oil. You know, right? Peppermint essential oil is grown indigenously out of Washington State, and that's where doTERRA gets it. The lavender we use is from France, because that's where initially it was indigenously grown. Our lime comes from Italy, and so I could go on and on. Oregano comes from Greece. The important part is that all those, I mean, if you want to do something fun, go Google oregano. And some Greek guy before, you know, we went to ADs, was using oregano as an antibiotic. Well, it turns out he was a pretty smart guy, because it is a natural antibiotic. So the last time I went to my doctor, he didn't prescribe a natural antibiotic like oregano. He gave me Cepro, and it's expensive, and I was on it for a long time. And so the oregano really got my attention when we found it. Cheap, and it worked in about 2 weeks after being on Cepro for 18 months.
Wow.
Pretty impressive. But this stuff is really fun. So that certified pure grade is one of the things that doTERRA does differently. And that's really, really the cool thing. As a matter of fact, we were talking about frankincense earlier, before we started the video, and I've been getting massages. I have a massage therapist we've been going to for 10 years. And I kind of wanted to have frankincense. I just wanted to. It was kind of an intuitive thing. She says, okay, go buy some. So I bought some at my health food store. And after about a year of using it, when I got my massages about once a month, the oil went rancid. Well, it said 100% pure oil. It didn't say 100% pure frankincense.
oil.
And because frankincense typically won't go rancid like that. Our oil, we know our oil will go at least 20 years, right?
Wow.
In the bottle. But when I found out what frankincense does with inflammation and with cellular regeneration, and I can go on, cancer, go Google frankincense if you want to and see what information is available on PubMed. The reality is that you say, well, why isn't everybody in America using frankincense to support their body? And the answer is, I don't know. It's probably because they don't know about it. I didn't know about it, and I didn't have good oil. Because I repeated that same thing. I bought a bottle, it went rancid. I bought another bottle, different brand, very expensive, from the health food store. A year later, it went rancid because they'd used some carrier oil to cut the oil. Well, doTERRA's bottle, frankincense, this bottle is about what I paid for the bottle at the health food store, and it doesn't go bad.
That's good news.
Yeah, it's very cool. And it's amazing. You got inflammation, you got pain.
Well, the other thing is, in terms of the price, there's a couple different ways you can do it. You can buy it retail, you can buy it wholesale, or you can, become a member. Talk to us a little bit more about how that
I
works.
love this part actually, because I'm always happy to sell people retail product. Happy to. It's not our business, but always happy to. If you want to try it, I'll sell you a bottle anytime. Most people are really interested in buying it wholesale, and it's a membership. It costs $35 for the first year. It's a $25 renewal. And
so to become a member, to be clear, $35, and that
$35.
licenses me to buy it at less than retail. So I get a discount on it.
25%
I put $35
discount.
up front. It's kind of like a membership or something like that.
Yeah, although we're not supposed to say that word.
Oh, okay. Well, cut.
I know.
It's like a
Wholesale
membership,
yeah.
a wholesale membership
Absolutely.
at a buyer's club.
Right.
And therefore, I can that enables me to get a lower price on my purchases.
25% off retail.
Okay.
And that's really cool. So buying it retail, happy to do that. And that's not really the business I want to be in. I want to help you buy it wholesale, or I want to help you buy it below wholesale. And that's if you're a customer, you just want to use it.
Mm-hmm.
The fun thing that comes along with that $35 membership is you can also resell it. So it's just like another wholesale membership. I have a neighbor that is he does food for a living. What's that called? I have a neighbor.
He caters.
I have a neighbor
Cater.
So I have a neighbor that's a caterer, and he buys all of his food at a wholesale club and builds his menu out of that. He resells his food. Well, that's what wholesaling is all about. So you can buy it wholesale and sell it retail if you want to, and you make 25%. A lot of people just want to be in a business to do this, and so we show people how to buy it wholesale, and then show other people how to buy it wholesale. That's probably 70% of our business. And about 30% of our business is people who want to do the business.
Right.
And that's something totally different, but there's no additional cost to do that. There is a monthly, you're going to commit to a monthly purchase to turn on all the commissions. And there's a couple of commissions that are pretty exciting. Actually, there's 3 commissions that are really exciting. One you get paid weekly, and the other 2 you get paid every month. So there's a fast start check, like a lot of network marketing companies. Somebody buys something today, you get a check next week. And then once a month on the 15th, they run all of the regular volume, and that's called the unit level bonus. It's pretty intense. The more volume you have in your organization, the deeper you go, the more you make. And then we want to talk about those leadership bonuses, because as you grow in your volume, you qualify for other levels, and doTERRA starts to share as an equity partner. So the total amount of money that doTERRA makes in the month is shared with leaders, and they start at about 9,000 in volume a month, and it's pretty doable.
Wow.
I mean, we hit, that's a silver level, that's where it starts. We hit silver level the second month we were doing it.
Wow.
And that sounds incredible, but we've had people who got into the really serious levels of leadership in 60 days. We were just working it part-time and didn't know any better. We just fell into it. One of our leaders became diamond, 6-figure income in 62 days. And anybody watching this video, if they want to come meet Elise and Patrick,
Give us that one more time. 6 figures,
6 figures
in 62
62
days.
days.
Okay, we got to enter some kind of caveat here that says, look, any performance or is
Disclaimer.
blah blah disclaimer is not the norm.
Right.
So, but
It's
that is
not.
an exception. But you know what? This message hopefully will get out to a lot of people. And you know what? I'm kind of the opinion that maybe this message will get to a person like that.
Yeah.
That has that kind of potential, that has that kind of influence, that believes in the product. And I have to believe that this message is going to people that are already sold on the products,
Right.
are already sold on essential oils, are already sold on the fact that the quality of these are the best. We'll just say the
You
grade,
can't get any
the
better.
quality,
You just can't
it's
get
just
any
the
better.
best.
Yeah.
And so, but it's kind of like fire and dynamite. We put the right people with the right product, and you know what? We're going to expect some people to really do some amazing things.
Explosive.
Explosive, dare you say, explosive.
Yeah, well, when we started network marketing, we just kind of dabbled in it. My wife used this particular product. It's called Slim and Sassy. She used it for 2 or 3 weeks. I call this new wife in a bottle. All right. So she was dealing with menopause, and the reality is that she had really tough emotional things she was dealing with. This kind of balanced out her mood and helped her manage her cravings for sugar. And 3 weeks into it, she started losing a little bit of weight. She'd plateaued. She was really discouraged. She wanted to lose some weight, about 10 pounds. And she didn't need to lose 10 pounds, but she felt like she wanted to. The important part is that this helped her, and that's what got her involved in it. And I have to say, on record, she was the first to really like the oils. And then there's another oil called Deep Blue, and it's in that little kit we haven't opened yet. It kind of is the surprise for the video. The Deep Blue is what I started using. I was losing weight. Well, I was losing weight. I mean, I was dropping pounds really fast, right? She was not losing weight, going crazy. So I started using this product called Deep Blue, which is for joint and muscle support, because my left knee would swell up like a balloon when I walked, and I was walking 4 or 5 miles a day. Really, just love to walk. That's what I do for my brain. And I come home and ice it. And I'd ice it before, and I'd take aspirin and Naprosyn. I took all kinds of junk for it. The doctor said, "You need a new knee." And I said, that doesn't sound so fun. So we started using Deep Blue. I used it on my knee a couple of times a day for about 2.5 months. And then I stopped using it because I didn't swell, it didn't hurt, and it's hurt since high school.
Wow.
So, then we said, okay, this is product that we know works and that we can use and is safe and is going to work. And then all of a sudden we started enrolling people that loved it. And we enrolled a ton. I think we enrolled about 100-ish people the first month. Mm-hmm. And that just blew us away. We didn't think that was possible. And I think I told you before that we started filming that we just had a goal to help 100 people become a diamond distributor, an independent product distributor, consultant at doTERRA, and that's a 6-figure monthly income. That's our goal, because this is really powerful stuff, and they're just getting started. The U.S. is open, Europe is just barely open. They just barely opened Japan, which is going like gangbusters. Taiwan's open, it's available in Australia. We haven't opened Mexico, we haven't opened the South America, haven't opened Africa, we haven't opened China.
Well, there's 2 things that I want to kind of revisit through this course of this last segment of the conversation. The first one is just that, as somebody that's new to it, I don't have my own testimonials, I don't have my own experiences. But here's the one thing that I do have, and that is that I have a relationship with Doug. Doug is somebody that I trust. And if Doug says it worked on his knee to help him, I genuinely believe that. Yeah. Not only that, but the company is just a rift with people that have testimonial after testimonial after testimonial.
Yeah.
My testimony is, you know what, I like the smell of it. And Doug's testimony is that it's really helped his health.
Yeah.
And he has a lot of people that he's worked with and that he knows that it's helped as well. You know, obviously there's disclaimers. We're not going to say not to go see your doctor. We're not going to, poo-poo the medical profession. That's just not, that's not where this fits.
Nope.
This is really kind of an alternative to traditional medicine.
Yeah, you can try. There's a lot of things you can try before you go see the doctor. So, for instance, I'm a bronchitis baby, and what I mean by that is, since I was about 6, I'd get bronchitis 2 or 3 times a year, and I've taken more ampicillin, amoxicillin, penicillin, some kind of psyllin than you can even imagine. And when I ran across the doTERRA oils, I don't go see the doctor anymore for bronchitis. Now that's remarkable. So I don't get the antibiotics, don't have to get the penicillin shot because the Z-Pak didn't work. And I can just use this stuff. Now the doctor's there if I need to go because the penicillin always works. The important part is I try this first. I don't try this if I'm getting heart palpitations or my chest to start, I wouldn't do that. Had a broken bone, spurting blood, there's a ton of good reasons to go see the doctor, right? But if I'm feeling a little stuffy in my nose or I've got a little cough, I'm using the oils. If I feel a little bit aches and pains, I'm using the oils. And we got a lot of literature. We got a book that talks about common ailments. We got a little book that talks about common ailments. Another A to Z guide, common ailments, and testimonials. When you mention testimonials, this is one of their. We call it a magalog, right? Magazine catalog. So it's really a catalog. But it's talking about their Biggest Loser competition last January they had. We're having one this year. And these are the 2 winners. They lost a lot of weight. Again, the results will vary, but these guys used doTERRA products to help them lose weight. That's a pretty compelling story, and they're just guys.
Right.
And there wasn't just 2 of them. And I know that doTERRA's got a whole boatload of people competing this year in the contest. So it is what it is. It'll be interesting to see how that turns out. But like you said, there's a lot of buzz about natural health. I wouldn't call it natural medicine because we don't want to get anybody anxious, but natural health. So much so I was in a public restroom yesterday, no joke, and I saw on the wall it said, "Plants, Nature's Pharmacy." I thought, dude, I need to say essential oils, Nature's Pharmacy. And that's what this magazine is really kind of funny about. Right in the middle of it, it basically has how to replace your medicine cabinet. And this is cool. You go, well, why would I get rid of these brand name kinds of things with natural things that your body can process and help you be healthy? The answer is because there's no side effects. You don't have to worry about what you're going to take and what it's going to do to you. And it doesn't wank out any of your organs. I mean, the liver has to clean everything that you put in your blood. And why not put something that's, 100% natural and not bad for you?
Right.
So it's just remarkable to me. So I really do, when I say this stuff works, it does work, and I do use it. And the money part is just like bonus. And I get to work with really incredible people, and I think that's the most incredible part. I get to choose who I work with, and there are people that we've chosen not to work with.
Your conversation is growing right to where I want to talk next, and that is, assuming somebody's sitting, in their pajamas at home on a Saturday morning or late at night, they're burning midnight oil, or they're like me, they're up in the middle of the night because they can't sleep and they're watching this. Why would anyone want to say, you know what, I think I'd like to be on this team? Steve and Doug, who has got me going at this point, why would anyone want to be on our team? I'm going to ask you first, and then I'm going to give my answer to that as well, which I think, by the way, is very exciting.
Yeah, well, and I think it is the exciting part. I've said it already a couple of times. I use the products, they work, and I make money.
Okay, the last one. Doug's being modest. He says he's making money. He is making money, And the people that Doug knows are making even more than that. So, we're not gonna,
Well, I make modest.
be specific,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's nothing. It's a significant amount of money.
Initially, we were just thinking, okay, we like the product. They got us on the product. How in the world are we going to pay for it?
Yeah.
Right? So initially, we were just anxious to pay for the product, and then all of a sudden, we made and that's about $100 a month. But so that's like, and then initially we started making 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 times that.
Wow.
$400 or $500. And then we jumped into the thousands each month, right? And that's as far as I really need to go. The important part is most people, if you make $1,000 a month on top of what you're doing, it's a game changer. And that was for us the second month.
Yeah.
We went, this is a game changer. How do we replicate this? How do we show people that they can do it? Because it doesn't take any rocket science. I mean, because I hope you look at me and say, hey, if he can do it, and I can do it. But that's the truth. And because there are people that are in leadership that I look at and said, how in the world did they ever do this when they're buying their new houses and they're driving their new cars? The buzz when one of our diamonds goes out and buys their car is just phenomenally funny. Because they're just giddy with excitement because they've never had anything like that. So it's a Beamer or a Mercedes or an exotic Jaguar or something.
Right.
And you go, well, Christian drives a Hummer.
Right.
That's what he wanted. He wanted a Hummer, so he went and bought a Hummer. Mark drives a BMW. So these guys, they buy their cars, and it's just like this big decision. It's like you'd think these guys would have so much money flowing that this is like a no-brainer. It's a big decision for them, and that's the point. It's a game changer. So,
it's some people that I admire and respect a lot that are very influential and ahead of the curve economically. They get to the point where it's like, it's not the things anymore.
Yeah.
I think people buy the nice cars kind of to experience it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, put a price on having money in the bank, or put a price on having your house paid off,
Right.
or put a price on the relaxation that a person would experience knowing that they don't have this looming debt,
Right. No
that
car
they're
payment.
not at the mercy of their employer.
Right.
And I think that's where the game has changed.
It really does. So once you start having once you cover your costs to be in business, about $100, $150 a month, then you move into I can make some money with this, and then you move into I can make some game-changing money with it. Then you start talking about residual income, and so that means that you don't show up today for work with doTERRA, and the machine still works.
The business, the system continues to trudge on,
right,
with
the folks
consistency
that you have engaged and you consult with and that you partner with continue to do what they do. Although they might not show up today either. And that process still continues. And then when you do engage again, the reality is, I'm not saying we put it down for very long, but when you do engage again, it's still working. And it's still the same thing. And you're still in the same canoe with the same paddle, but you don't always have to paddle.
Right.
And that's a whole lot different than when I have to go to work and turn my time in for a paycheck.
Punch a card.
Punch a card. And there's, again, I don't ever begrudge that because that's a huge blessing. But I think the important part of the matter is that doTERRA works 24 hours a day worldwide for us at this point. And maybe it's not works for us, but works with us because we work really hard at it. And the people we work with work really hard at it. And that's what makes it just really compelling. We get to work with people who aren't afraid to talk about something that works and they use and they can make money with. And that's a whole lot different than, selling a candy bar or selling a juice or selling a bunch of other stuff. Because the long-term potential in this is, as long as I have a body, I'm going to be using this stuff. Mm-hmm. And it's just as compelling when you're 19 years old as when you are when you're 60. And I wish that we would have had this when I was 20, honestly.
Well, for two reasons. Number one, health-wise.
Absolutely.
And number two, business-wise, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, it's like, what we could all do if we could turn back the clock 20 years and plug into a system that we could see beginning to develop,
Yeah.
that had some legs and that was starting to get some momentum, which is really how I perceive doTERRA. It's not a household name like, say, an Amway or somebody like that. But at the same time, it's not one of these flash in the pans. You know, network marketing companies come and go.
Right.
And, you know, I would say the first few years is really the telling period of time that will dictate whether something has staying power or not. And my perception is at this point is that, you know, doTERRA is over that hump. They do have staying power, they do have long-term potential, but yet they're still early enough that people that get involved have enormous potential as for future growth.
Yeah. There's still hundreds of thousands of stories to be written at doTERRA, and the fun part is doTERRA is debt-free. They never went into debt from day one to go forward.
And I think that speaks to the management's capabilities.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Amazing
really
guys.
an incredible management team.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great bunch of people, really. And so I think that says a lot about them, and the products are amazing, and the compensation plan works. If you could put all the things that you needed to line up against what's happening in the economy with employment and with healthcare, and can put those together, I don't think there's anything better. There might be some good things out there as well, but we looked, when we started to figure out what network marketing would do for us, direct sales would do for us, we looked at about 20 to 25 different companies. And you know, you can sell cellular service if you want to, you can sell soap if you want to, you can sell juice if you want to, but they didn't seem to be as fundamental to what we are as people as this does. And that's what we like it. And when we used it and it worked for us, we said, that's compelling. And again, this is the funniest part about this. Personally, I think that this is such a compelling story that you kind of have to be crazy not to investigate it really seriously, and not for the business aspect. I mentioned frankincense earlier. If you go to Google and you Google frankincense and you look at the research on what it's doing, from a supplement that you can take in your body that's not medically prescribed, that you can use to get some relief of symptoms, and they're unstudied. So you're kind of like a guinea pig, but the frankincense doesn't hurt you and helps you. And you're listening to this video, just
Try it.
what have you got to lose?
Yeah, exactly. What have you got to lose? Which takes me back to the question, why would somebody want to join us? In other words, okay, the company, let's say they're sold on the company, they're sold on the
Yeah.
product, they're sold on this, you know, why do they sign up on Doug's team and Steve's team? Why do they want to be on our team specifically as opposed to a neighbor or a distant relative or whatever? Do you want to tackle that, or?
Well, there's two things there. They might
Okay.
not want to. And to be really candid, that's okay. We want people that want to work with us, and you already know what my goal for you is. The right is to help you get diamond. And my goal for you is to make 100 diamonds. So people that want to work with us are going to want to do the business. They're going to want to get the oils. They're going to want to be emotional. They're going to want to be not fanatical, but direct about what it is and what they're doing, and they're not going to be afraid of the money. And the reality is, that's one reason. The second reason they're going to want to get together with you is because you've been really modest about what you do. It turns out you're not only an insurance guy, but you're also an internet expert. And so the part of the system that you're going to build to help people on your team is really all about taking keywords off of Google, building internet funnels. Now, those of you who are doing business, you're going to catch this relatively quickly. Steve's got a lot of internet names already that are essential oils, and you have searches that you've been looking at from Google's standpoint that are already getting hits, and we intend to do a lot of funnel magic to get leads and to get additional people like y'all to come on board.
Right.
And that's the point. So they would want to pay attention to what we have to say, because I really like the product and we have a lot of support leadership-wise. You like the product and you have some additional magic that is going to add to the value of that.
The thing that I learned as an insurance agency owner is that the internet is a very competitive place. It's very it's extraordinarily competitive. And people pay several dollars for somebody just to click on their advertisement.
Right.
And being in the insurance industry, what I was compelled to do, or what I had to do out of survival, is learn how that worked. And so over the last probably 7 years, I have been looking at how it all works. And when I said that there is a buzz about essential oils, that's not hyperbole, it's not my opinion, that is factual. And when you learn, as many of you may already know, there are statistics available to people about what people search for. And it just so happens that there are a lot of searches, tens of thousands of searches about essential oils and related topics on a monthly basis. So tens of thousands of people are just buzzing about this. And what I've learned is that, if we could use the analogy of the internet as a freeway, right? There's just a freeway of traffic that's going by. What I've been able to do is learn how to get in front of that traffic to communicate to the people that are looking for what it is that we're offering. In other words, people are already talking about it, and what we're going to do technologically, and through technology and through building systems and utilizing the internet, is we are going to get right into the fray of that, and in return develop centers of influence that will grow our business, your business, my business, and anyone that might care to join us. Right. And you know what? I'm not going to go through and talk about the specifics and the mechanics, because that information really is going to be reserved for people that are on our team.
That's secret sauce.
Well, call it secret sauce. And it's like, at the end of the day, if giving that information away, we're kind of arming our competitors.
Right.
It's kind of like, McDonald's going over to Burger King and saying, hey, we got this great thing, you should try it.
Try our secret sauce, you might like it.
Yeah. So, but even the fact that people are watching this video is a testament to the fact that we kind of get how this works.
Yeah.
You're here as a viewer watching this as a result of the same types of implementations and strategies that we're going to use to help develop our business and the people that join our team's business.
Right. And I think that's the most compelling thing about direct sales, is that I don't have a bunch of people working for me. I work with other business people on the same kind of goals, and they work with other business people on the same kind of goals.
Well, and it's before we started the film, we started talking about, what it is, you come to a point where, how do we summarize that? Basically, we're working for somebody, and there comes a point where you say, you know what, I've reached my maximum potential, or I've kind of capped out. I've hit that glass ceiling. I've gone as far as I can go. I've gone as high as I can go. I'm making as much money as I'll probably ever make. And you know what? I think what we're saying and the message that we're putting out there is, we think, and we will find out, I would be willing to bet, that Doug's experience, my experience, your experience, people that join their experience, as a team and the collective team, we can take our experience and put it to work, and the synergy will get us a greater result than doing it ourselves.
Yeah. It's true. This is not a sprint, and this is not a long distance race. This is a relay. And the reality is you have a team, and you all work together, and you accomplish a common goal. I hate using this sports analogy, but I apologize for doing that. But when you get the fact that you're in business, and that's all you are, is you're in business, and you have other people who are in business that you associate with, it's not unlike any other business that deals with vendors or customers. It's the same thing. And the reality is the difference is you all have the same goal. You all want to socialize the product. You all want to share the product. You all want to build the organization in the right way. You all want to support what's best for this stuff, because it's our livelihood. That's great.
Right.
And there's a real commonality there. That you don't even get in a normal business. I mean, how many times have you worked for a company? I mean, we work together. How many times you worked for a company when members on your team you would just really like to fire or get rid of, and you weren't even the boss. You were just one of the co-workers, right?
Yeah, we can all.
Got to get rid of Bill because we got to get
He's
him up to
dragging
take-
us down.
Absolutely.
Right?
And and then so even as in a workplace, we don't seem to always have the same alignment. And I'm not saying that this is perfect, it's not. But if you're all working for the same goal and you're all talking about the same kind of thing, then we start to really focus. I mean, think about this. This whole organization focusing on how do we represent this product best? How do we talk about this product? What ways are really, really productive and informative and helpful? And what ways don't move the needle? And we share that information.
Yeah.
When you start thinking about the power of that leverage, then that's huge. It's not you trying to build a little presentation and walk around your neighborhood and talk to folks. It's you take a presentation that's been tried and true and works and represents everything that we need to represent. It's fully functional, fully featured, and you can feel confident that it works. And you can talk to people. And some of this stuff is so simple, it's not funny. We do tons and tons of one-on-one work. Just talk to people. We have tons of ideas about how that works. And we do classes and we do events, and they're all about the same. It's just really about the story. Why did you get involved in doTERRA? Why do you like the product? What moves the needle for you? And that's really your why, and that's really easy to figure out, right? That every person that's in our organization gets the oil because they like the oil, they like the thought of the oil, they like the concept, they like how it smells, they like how it works. They may or may not.
Or they're like me, and that is that they've heard a testimonial of somebody that used it for a certain purpose, and they have a similar problem, and they want to experience the relief that they might get by using the product.
And it turns out that when oils get you, they get you. And even if it takes a while, for instance, we have one guy in our organization that we enrolled when we started, and he's been hanging out, and he just 18 months later, it's kind of like just a little bit different version of your story. He engaged, but didn't engage. 18 months later, he's kind of where you are. He's engaged, and he's got a little bit of an organization. He's going like gangbusters, and he's into doTERRA leadership after being into it for a couple of months.
Wow.
He's a really smart guy. Spencer's a smart guy. You'll like him. But the important part is there's a real serious commonality here, and the passion isn't about a particular technology. The passion isn't really about a particular product. The passion is really generic about essential oils and what they can do for you. And it's not mainstream, but it's close. And I feel really comfortable talking to people about the fact that it doesn't matter to me whether you engage or not. Honest, I'm not emotionally attached to that. What I am emotionally attached to is if you have an issue, can we find a solution for you? That's great, and we have stuff to help with that. And then if you like it, what do you do with it? Do you just use it as a product? That's good. And most network marketing companies won't tell you that. They want you to do the business. They're driving for revenue. If you want to do the business, we can do that too. We tend to lead with the product because it's that strong. But the business is every bit as strong, and we just don't typically have time to worry about that. We're so busy talking to people about the product. They come in, they like the product, they start paying for their product, they make a little more money, and they go, well,
I can do that.
you're doing it.
And I can do it, and I can repeat doing it, and I can continue doing it, and then it begins to snowball,
Yeah.
right?
Like
It
washing
takes
your
some
hair.
time, but gradually, guess what? You keep doing it, and you keep doing it, this thing's going to get some momentum. You're going to get a few people signed up who are going to get excited about it. They're going to have a positive experience with the product. They're going to tell a few friends, and pretty soon, man, you've got a nice little chunk of change coming in
Absolutely.
every month.
So if you, this is probably a good time to talk about the kit. If you want to try the product, this is a good place to start. It's called the Family Physician Kit. It's got 10 essential oils in it. We think everybody should have it. I'm going to tease you a little bit and not tell you what they are. But this is where you start if you want to be a customer. If you want to be a business guy, right? The real risk is you're going to invest about $550 for a bigger kit. It's got more oils, and not only has the oils, there's more of them. They're bigger bottles. This kit has these little bottles in it. This kit, the $500 kit, has bigger bottles in it. It has some other supplies that you're going to need as far as being exposed to the oils and being exposed to what they can do. It's got a diffuser in the kit. It's got some little bottles that you can give people samples if you want to do the business. So you're planning on spending about $550 to get involved, and then you're going to plan on spending about $150 a month for the first year. And we're going to show you how to talk to people, how to have small classes, how to hold events. And the reality of that is your risk is about $500, $550 plus $150 a month. And the downside risk is you buy oils that work and help people, right? For the first year, and then you say, well, did I do it or didn't I do it? And that's the fun part. Is the other thing that you don't get with normal network marketing is the internet stuff that we're going to bring to the table with your stuff.
Right.
And I think that's going to jumpstart, again, change the playing field, and I think we can make this go viral. That's what we're hoping to do.
Well, and the thing that I am really excited about is just the fact that in techno speak, it's really an early market in terms of applying essential oils to the internet.
Yeah.
There is a lot of really uncharted territory, a lot of really green pastures out there in terms of opportunities, and how we can get our message and the people that join us this message in front of other people that are very interested in these products.
That's right.
And
Not only from Google search standpoint, but also from Twitter and from Facebook. And I mean, there's just an awful lot of people that use the essential oils that you wouldn't know about until you start talking to people about how they feel about health and wellness, not medicine, health and wellness. And they already know about peppermint, or they already know about frankincense, and it's remarkable. They just don't know that they can get pure essential oil,
a better quality product.
a way better quality product for the same price. Not junk, really, really good stuff.
And not cheap. I mean, it's not cheap oil, but then again, you know what? People don't want cheap. They don't want to buy cheap.
Yeah.
They want what they want, and they're buying it for what it is, not for some diluted version of what they want.
Exactly.
There is a book, and I'm trying to think of the name of it. I'm drawing a blank. It's called the E-Myth, the E-Myth Revisited, which talks about, as a
You should start
business
that
owner.
again, by the way. There's a book.
What's that?
There's a book.
Yeah, the e-book. It's okay. I don't care. You know, I have lapses in memory. People, I hope, can appreciate that because that's just the way it is. But
It's real.
this whole book, if you haven't read it, I'd recommend it. But it talks about successful businesses are not a person doing everything that it takes for a business to succeed. It's kind of like Ray Kroc is not McDonald's. He doesn't flip every hamburger, the late Ray Kroc.
Right.
But he's built a system. And so what Doug and I are offering is we are saying that together as a team, we are going to help people build systems. A system to generate ultimately sales and consequently revenue as a result of building these systems.
Yeah.
And the thing that really kind of, as Doug approached me, as I went to the business and as I met some of the people that had signed Doug up, the thing that really put me over the top is I began to relate my own experience as a business owner and the different paths that are available to me, which is, to give you a little bit of background, about 7 or 8 years ago, I had saved some money. Doug talked about capitalizing a business. I'd saved a fair amount of money, and I went out and bought essentially a franchise, a nationally recognized insurance franchise. And
For a lot of money.
it was a lot of money, and not only that, but I had to go out and borrow even more money. And the gross revenue that it was generating was significant, but man, when you have loans and you have overhead and you have offices and you have expenses and payroll and systems and all those things, at the end of the day, there's not a lot left. And what Doug has successfully done in a relatively short period of time is essentially extracting a comparable amount of end-of-day income from this business than I was experiencing by, managing a hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue.
That's true. That's
And
true.
so, my point being is, at the end of the day, I would recommend that you build a T-square. On one side, you put, okay, here are the compelling reasons why I'd want to join. These are the pros and these are the cons. The pros of joining Doug and I and getting involved is, number one, it's very inexpensive, relatively speaking. You're not going to have to break any bank accounts or tap into your retirement accounts. I mean, literally, if you can't afford $1,000 over the next 12 months, I mean, then you need to reinvent the mousetrap or something.
Right, so that's the point, is I think if you look at it and you say, well, I'm going to invest in me, I'm going to try the product, I'm going to make sure that it works for me, I feel comfortable about the product, it's groundbreaking from the standpoint that we can help people with health issues.
Well, and even then, it's, the say $1,000, most of that is a consumption. In other
Right.
words, you don't even really count that as an investment because you're consuming a product.
Right, you can consume it and you can also share it. So you can get other people's opinion on it as well.
Which
That's
makes
true.
that the expense of joining even less,
Even less.
significant.
Right.
It's like, so joining us means you pay $35, you become a wholesaler, and you consume the product, and then you tell some friends about it.
Right.
What's the upside potential? The downside is that you're going to be out $1,000 and have consumed some products in that period of time. That's the risk, right?
That's the risk.
I mean, the biggest risk is that you consume some of the products.
Right. You consume it and you share it with other people to see how they feel about it, how it works for them, and they consume it. And you go, oh, well, I guess this works. That's the funniest thing, honestly.
And it's not like you gotta, it's not like you're going to Vegas, right? I mean, it's not like you're gonna put $20,000 or $30,000 or $50,000 on the table,
In a slot.
like so many people do to get into business.
Right.
And then they turn around and borrow another $250,000 to implement all of these things that they're doing.
Yeah, there's a lot of folks that we've talked to, I've talked to business-wise, who have done that kind of thing, who've borrowed a lot of money because they needed to capitalize it. And I mentioned that up front, is I always thought you had to capitalize a business. It turns out for about $500 and then a monthly fee, you're in business and you pay for your product, you make a little more money. That's different than most other places.
Right.
That you,
But yet the reward, the potential for success
yeah.
is so much greater in terms of, so many people that you can tell a story after story, people after people. We could parade dozens of people
Dozens.
that make a lot of money and frankly have a lot of influence over many, many more people. And even the small people, you don't have to come in this thing and blow the doors off. You know what I mean? If you come in like, I am eventually doing after 18 months or almost 2 years, and getting some momentum, you know what, that's okay. Better late than never, right?
Right.
As opposed to, somebody that comes in and hits the ground running and just really takes off with it. If your course is plotted, if you come in and get started and grow it a little bit with our help and with the use of some technology, and you do it over the time, you know what? 5 years down the road, 7 years down the road, 10 years down the road, in my case, a year and a half later down the road, you know what? It's beginning to transpire. It's beginning to take hold. And not only that, but I'm, looking down into the future, you know what? I gotta believe that this thing is just gonna be awesome. You know what I mean?
Yep, it's just going to continue. And I think that's where we got to, my wife and I got to about 2 years ago. We said, we're going to get old anyway.
Yeah, 5 years is gonna come and go. We can
Time
either
marches on.
try to alter that course, or we can be willing to accept, what we have now.
Right. And I think that's really a good paradigm for when you talk about looking in the next 5 years. What are you going to do? I know what you're not going to do. You might have a job, you might have some ideas, but unless you take some action, then the reality is those 5 years are going to tick by. And I've had a lot of 5 years in my life that have ticked by but I didn't have anything that I could take action with. And that's the remarkable part. I've always been opposed to network marketing, always. I mean, ever since my first Amway meeting a bazillion years ago, right? 1971 was my
Right.
first Amway meeting, right? And before that, my dad went to Shackley, you know? They went, oh, brother, give it up, you guys. And I've never really known anybody who was successful in network marketing until we found this product. And then we started paying attention to the people who didn't look like used car salespeople, that were sincere and genuine, and actually cared about people as much as they cared about the product. And they were just as astounded that they were making the money as anybody else was. And that's the weirdest part about it. It's almost like if you really gaze hard at the money, if that's your thing, you gaze on it, you're gonna miss it. If you gaze at the other things, serving people, helping people, sharing something that really benefits humanity, I'd go that far, then the money comes along. And I feel really comfortable saying that, because I think that's what's happened with us, is we are just astounded at the people we talk to that the oils have helped, and are really mind-boggled with the fact that we keep meeting people, new people every day. I mean, I have a goal to meet new people every day anyway. I'd encourage everybody to start meeting people. Talk to the person behind the counter wherever you're at. Talk to the guy who does whatever for you. The guy who comes in and does something at your house. The guy that you go pump gas for. Get to know all those people. You're connected to them. Cosmically, you're connected to them all for some reason. And this is one of the things that we're connected for. This stuff really works. I'm not trying to get spiritual, but what I'm saying specifically is this works. I use it and I make money. And
Well, see, here's the
anybody
thing,
can
as
make
you're
money.
talking about that, I'm reflecting back on the cost. And you know what, I don't want to dismiss the fact, $1,000, for some people that's a ton of money.
It's a lot of money for a lot of
And
people.
the nice thing about it is just the fact that, you break that down to $100 a month. I mean, that makes it affordable for virtually everybody.
Almost everybody can do it.
Well, it's a foot in the door.
Yeah.
It's potentially, it's a golden ticket for some people. But on the other hand, you know what? I think it's important to add that it's not for everyone,
Right?
right?
It's not.
And I think Doug will be the first one to say it doesn't suit everybody's interest.
Right. The fun part is the product is the most robust, full-featured, broad spectrum product we've ever experienced, as far as health and wellness is concerned. Bar none. Bar none. It's broad. Again, it's not drinking a juice. You can go to a book and say, I've got gout, for instance. I've got whatever. You can kind of go in there. It's not every issue is I mean, there are diseases that are not in the book, but the reality is there's a broad spectrum of very common issues for people who have bodies. This approaches all of them, and we don't have the research on the rest yet. But if you look at, again, the research that's been on essential oils in the last 20 years, it's exploded because there's just so much interest in essential oils. Anyway, having said that,
Go.
the other part is that it's so broad that you don't have to be a business person. You can be a consumer, and it can really bless your lives in interesting ways. My mom's a consumer. She uses the oil. She loves the oil. They work for her. She doesn't make any money. She doesn't want to sell to her friends. She doesn't want to talk to her friends. But she gives oil out right and left all day long because all of her friends have ailments. She's 79 years old, and she's suffering all kinds of stuff, has tons of medicine she takes, and all of her friends are in that same boat. They all have aches and pains. They all can't sleep. They all have diabetes, or they all have some other issue they're dealing with, and we have oils for all of that. And so she shares like gangbusters. She probably buys $100 worth of oil a month as a consumer because she has people she's taking care of, she loves. So you can be a consumer, and that's an important aspect. You can also be a business person, but the business is really not about the money. The business is helping other people meet their goals, not about how much money you make. So this is a really weird business thing. It's not like I get a pat on the back for making 10,000. dollars. It's like,
Well, as somebody
it
that's
just
arrived,
shows up.
I mean, you know, and I would say obviously you're on this projectile of success, but you know, you are building it. You have on a regular basis a consistent amount of money that comes to you every
Yeah,
month.
Every month.
Whereas, you know, for me and for a lot of other people, it really is, you know, at the risk of seeming greedy, it is about the money.
Yeah,
Because, you know, otherwise we would all be consumers,
right.
right?
But if there was no business here and I just bought the oils for my own self, I'm going to tell you right up front, we didn't get involved in this for the business.
the oils by themselves stand on their own.
Absolutely. And so then all of a sudden you don't have to look at the target of money so much as what can the oils do for other people. For me, and I can share with other people. And then all of a sudden you've got the whole real serious reason why it drives revenue. And you go, dude, I can be philanthropic. I don't just have to be, you know, go for the throat money guy. I can share and I can have charity and I can serve and all
Help
those
your
things.
family, help
Absolutely.
parents, siblings, children,
Right.
grandchildren, college,
Cell phone.
excuse me, cell phone.
Hello.
There we go.
There you go. So that's true. So there's a whole so if you start from the framework that the products really work, and you get that, and you just trust that and try that, right? Then you go, hey, the products really do work, and I do like them. And then all of a sudden you go, wait a minute, that's really cool. It's like buying something that really works, or that you really like. So the last time you went to a movie that you really liked, what did you do?
Told some friends.
Absolutely. And so that's the trick.
Well, and the other thing is that ailments. You know, when somebody has an ailment that gets resolved or helped or benefited, you know, we talk about word of mouth.
Everybody
It
wants to
takes
say
off.
hallelujah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that's the trick. So, my story about my knee was typically the thing that ported it into other people's minds. We talk with a lot of people who suffer from joint and muscle pain. There's a lot of arthritis out there. Why? I don't know. I didn't create it, but we have something that eases
Helps.
it, that helps.
Right. Well, and kind of going back to this notion of, you know what, it isn't about the money, it's about the product, but at the same time, it is
The
about the
next
money,
level.
which is, just like you said, I mean, the first step is to generate enough money to get what you purchased paid for.
Absolutely.
And then, you know, the next month it's, you know, plus 100, plus 100, plus 100.
And you keep
Pretty
proving it.
soon, it's just like a little teeny flake of snow that,
Big snowball.
you know, it turns over and turns over, and pretty soon it starts to get some momentum. And you've got how many people-ish in your genealogy?
Right now,
Ballpark.
today,
You know, just
I didn't-
ballpark.
I
I,
didn't
don't
look
want to
this-
put you on the spot.
I didn't
You know,
look this
just ballpark.
morning. we added about 10 people yesterday, so I didn't
Wow.
look this morning, right? I think we're about
Because-
about 700.
700 people. And so your team of 700, which is amazing. That's a lot of
That's
people.
a lot of people.
And just a little small piece
My
of
700
that
new
business
best friends, actually.
generates
Yeah.
you know, a nice amount of money.
It does.
And to think, you know, what's it going to look like when you have 10,000 people?
Right, but exactly, and we have a goal to actually go to 10, right?
Ultimately, that's
Ultimately.
Doug's goal, 10,000. That seems lofty to me.
That's
I
it's
might set my
huge.
sights a little lower, but then again, I'm not in Doug's shoes. You know,
Right.
Doug knows what it's taken to get the first 700.
Right.
And you know what? At the rate he's going, and with the exponential growth that's going to occur, you know, it probably isn't going to be as hard as I think it is.
Yeah, it more than doubles every year.
Wow. So, you know, even in 10 years, if you got 1,000 a year, which you're going to beat that easily,
Yeah.
in 10 years you'll have your 10,000.
Pretty much, except it will grow faster, because I think as I was actually, in 2008 when the economy went bonkers, right? We had a business, and we've held that business that we're just barely closing 4 years later.
Wow.
Every year we kept saying, it's gonna get better, it's gonna get better. We've been dropping $1,500 to $2,000 every month in our little business to pay payroll, right? I finally told my wife, saying, we're gonna have to close, we just have to close doors, we can't afford it anymore. She says, well, we're doing doTERRA, we can use the doTERRA money to keep it open. Okay, now, as a mission and a service, the little business was making some money from the standpoint, had good revenue. We weren't paying the bills, right? But it was a service. It was something that she felt really strongly about. We said, okay, so it's time not to do that. because we have to focus on this other thing. It's exactly the same kind of process. This product works, and so we're going to share it with people. And so we're going to close that little business down. But if we hadn't had doTERRA, we would have had to shut it down 2 years ago.
Wow.
And that was really
And
cool.
I'm sure there are people that, watching this are in that same boat.
Absolutely.
It's like, you know what, they're just at that point where it's like maybe be a business owner, and they're saying, you know what, I've got to look at other sources of income. And the nice thing about your story is that you really are in a specific niche that turns out to be very hot on this particular product,
Yep.
or these products, I should say.
Absolutely. And
It's kind of a dotted line. It's not directly related,
Nope.
but it's a side industry that has a lot of interest in this particular business.
right.
And you
And
know
it's
what?
more
I think-
secret sauce, which one of the things we just lucked into. So when we started talking to you, we lucked into the fact that you're an internet guy. Bill Gates said, by the way, this is my quote, and I didn't get this quote for this. I read it yesterday. Bill Gates said, if you're in business and you're not on the internet, you're not in business.
I like that.
And I just laughed. I thought, oh, dude, good thing I found Steve. Okay, so, but we were still trying to help people with our business, and this is a natural niche. And we can talk at length about this because it is secret sauce, and we're not going to reveal it here. Just like the internet stuff, we're not going to reveal that. But it's part of the stuff that we bring to the table to say to people, we don't do network marketing normally. We do it a little differently. We're not afraid to talk about it, and we've picked some arenas that are really pretty profound that we can't do all by ourselves. I guarantee if I could go visit all these businesses that we were talking about, or all this stuff, you gotta cut that out. If I could go talk to the people that are our niche, if I could go talk to every person that is in that niche you're talking about, by myself, because of business, the business aspect.
Well, number one, it'd take you 20 years to do it.
I do it, but it would take me forever to do it. But if I can help other
If you
people
can get some
it-
leaders on your team
absolutely.
to share that message with the same people in that same industry, yeah.
Yep. And that's the point. So we had to, when we started, we had these little teeny goals: pay for the product, make a little money, and we had all of a sudden our goals were just overrun. We went, oh, we've never done that before. What happened? Right? And we said, it must be us. And the answer is not. It's the product. It's the compensation plan. It's doTERRA. It's the people at doTERRA. It's our leadership.
And it's the people that you've signed up so far, and it's the people watching this movie.
Absolutely.
Or watching
it's
this
the
video.
people that catch the vision that we engage with, that get to know us and trust us on this stuff and try this thing, and they go, oh my gosh, it really works. And the answer is, that gives me goosebumps. It really does work. So when you talk about, the first level is just the product, the second level is the business aspect of it. We had to raise our goals, exponentially. In 2012, our
Growing too
goals
fast.
are
That's
so
a bad problem to have.
aggressive. I don't even know how we're going. I don't even know how we're going to do it.
Wow.
The sheer volume. We were talking with somebody else that's a competitor doing another network marketing, because all of a sudden we're talking to network marketing people. I won't tell you where, but he's a double, triple, Jamocha diamond someplace else. And he was telling me about his volume, and he said, dude, been doing this for 2 years, I'm really cranking on the volume. And his volume's like a quarter of our volume.
Wow.
And I'm not comparing, but his checks are puny, and he's
Say it,
bragging
bro.
about
Just
it.
say it. It's like,
And I went,
I'm kicking your butt.
well,
Say it.
and I just laughed. I had to do everything I possibly could to not turn that around and say,
Sends condolences.
absolutely. We say, well, but because what we did is we just turned right around and said, you know what? I'm glad you're really having a success with that. And our product doesn't compete with your product. I'd like to talk to you directly about how we can bring you into our group
Enhance.
and enhance what you're doing for your people. And he said, I've never been talked to like that before.
That's cool.
And I said, that's how we talk to people.
Interesting.
We partner with people.
Okay, Doug had a
Hard stop.
a hard stop
Is that
that
past two?
was 15 minutes
Oh, my
ago.
wife's gonna kill me.
He's gonna get killed.
Yeah.
So if he's deceased when you see this video, you'll know why.
Read my obituary.
But
you'll know
let's
exactly.
put a bow on it.
Okay. So the trick is, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to consider that you engage us. And the cost to engage is, like I said, if you're going to do the business, engage in the $550.
So bare bones, peel back. I mean, what is the least expensive option that
Well,
somebody could do?
You could do $35, but
$35
let's
bucks.
be candid, you don't get any oil.
Well, it's
You gotta have the oil.
bucks.
$35.
35.
Right,
35
$35.
bucks.
But you gotta have some oil.
Well, and
So-
so then you're a consumer. The investment's $35.
So
And
this
then you want to start consuming.
$150
$150
includes the $35.
includes the 35.
Right.
So one guy could go, okay, well, I'm going to
150
do
bucks.
35, or I can go
50.
150,
Well, plus sales tax and shipping.
and so call it 160.
Yeah, probably 170.
But that covers the membership,
Yep.
and it gives you how many oils?
10 oils, actually 11 oils, because you get a big bottle of Slim and Sassy, and we can talk a long time about this.
So 150 bucks.
New
I
wife
mean,
in a bottle.
that is, it's dirt cheap. I mean, isn't it? It's,
Yeah.
pardon the cliche, it's a no-brainer.
I think
$150 to get your foot in the door, to join Team Doug and Team Steve and Team Christian and
Right.
Team everybody else that has interest in seeing you and I and everybody else that chooses to join us
Yep.
succeed. 100, that's cheap.
this also includes frankincense. I told you I was going to tease you with this, but this has a little bottle of frankincense in it. I personally think everybody in America, don't tell the bad guys. Everybody in America, don't tell the terrorists. Everybody in America should be taking some frankincense every day to support your body.
Well, if nothing else, grab this orange and just take the
Smell
lid
it.
off that thing. What do you call it when you snort it, or not snort it,
That's
but
it.
it's huff it.
It's
You
invigorating,
wanna huff
isn't
it.
it? You just want to, it just feel good.
You can just like take the lid off and sit it there, and it smells awesome.
We were talking about the presidential candidate. I think we should send the candidates some of this wild orange so they can relax a little bit.
That would be cool.
So bare minimum, but realistically, if you already get it, this you're going to try it. Try this, $150, and
Well,
then
and
plan
so-
on spending some money each month. About
Let's
$100.
also talk. So we started at the left.
Right.
$35, $150. There
And then-
are
and then,
better.
And then no commitment on a monthly basis. Just try the oils.
Yeah, and that's, you don't have to give them a recurring credit card at that point.
Right.
It's just like
The risk is $35.
you're
or
through the gate.
$150, right?
Yeah, I mean you're in the game. You're on the team
You're
to
on
spend
the team.
$35.
And then you can see what we got.
There you go. So, but anyway, where I was going, and I'm sorry for the time. Tell your wife I'm sorry.
She'll kill me.
But there are more expensive options. In other words,
Right.
you know what? If you have some money, and you want to get in, maybe instead of just test the water with your big toe, you might want to try one of the larger packages. There
Yeah.
are larger packages
Absolutely. And
with
what we'll
more
do is
comprehensive
we'll-
and extensive options available.
And it's really about the experience. So what we want to do, and the reason that you're going to sign up over here is to get this other information, is we're going to go through that larger kit and explain step by step why this is the deal. And we're also going to explain what you buy on a regular basis that is the deal, so that you have enough product to share and that you know how to share, so you just don't buy product and store it. That's not our intent. We don't want you to inventory product. And we don't want you to sell product. We want you to help other people buy what they want to.
All right.
There is a whole syndrome of I call it the wholesale club syndrome, that you walk in for a gallon of milk and you walk out with a canoe. We don't want you to do that.
Right.
What we want you to do is buy the kinds of things that we use on a regular basis, that we share.
And then you're
on a
going to
regular
consume.
basis.
Right. Ultimately, the idea is to consume it.
You're gonna
Not to buy
consume
it, put it on the shelf, and watch it grow.
Right. Well, you're
but
going
you
to consume it or share it.
And consume it personally, or have your people that you know consume it with you.
Right. So you're going to share it. So you'll share little bottles of oil with people. And Susie will show up and she's got some element. You'll say, you look in the book and you go, Susie needs this, and you give her some of it. She uses a couple of drops a couple times a day, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
So but the other video we're going to make is basically going to talk to you about what's in the larger kit, why you use it, how you share, and how you duplicate. So if you want to be a business builder, you're gonna have to take the risk with us on the larger kit to get some of that information, because that's part of our secret sauce. If you wanna try the product and become a customer, then you can come in later toward the business, assuming that we aren't out, because we only have so many spots, assuming that we are out of spots, and you can upgrade to the larger kit.
Right.
So the important part is try the product, take our word for it that it works. You don't like it, you're out 150 bucks.
Well, and the other thing that I will say kind of as a closing note is just the fact that there are only 24 hours in a day, and Doug and I are really looking for leaders slash motivated individuals. In other words, if you're thinking, oh, I'll let him drag me along, you know what? Don't. Just buy the product and use the product.
Try the product,
right?
use the product.
But what we are planning at this point is a significant investment of our time and resources. It's what we're going to be doing is not cheap, inexpensive, and it's not free, and it's not easy. Although it's going to be incredibly, virtually free for people that are the first comers, right?
Right.
Which is to say, you know, people that are saying, yeah, I'm going to get in, I'm going to do it, I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity, I'm going to get engaged in the internet aspect, I'm going to get engaged in using the product, I'm going to build myself a business so that 10 years later I'll have something to show. You know, those are the people that we're looking for.
Yep. There's another way of saying that, what you just said, is to say if you are intrigued by the product, enroll and buy some.
Right.
Try it. If you get that the most powerful way of doing business is direct sales or network marketing, if you get that, and you didn't have a product.
Well, and even if you don't, because you didn't, right?
Right.
Until later, and I didn't until later.
And then we get it.
But now we've arrived and we are saying, you know what?
We get it.
Every business is a network marketing business. And insurance, I had a sales manager, he had a district manager, who had a regional manager, who had a VP, who had a chairman, who had a board of directors. Guess what?
Everything looks like a pyramid.
Exactly. So what does it matter? What does it matter what you call it?
Right. Well,
It's the same thing.
This is legal.
Except you can go from here to here
Right.
by your own effort.
By your own efforts. So you can be whatever level here you want. In a normal corporation, you can't be the president. There's only one president can be a president, and that's it. But we can have any number of people at a high rank.
That can leapfrog 2 or 3
Yeah.
degrees, 2 and 3 paychecks,
Yeah.
and income levels
Yeah.
at their own.
There's actually, right now in our leadership, there's 3 of us that have leapfrogged 3 people above us.
Wow.
And that's way cool. And you go, well, you get paid for your performance. But the point is, what I was trying to say is, to kind of say it another way, if you're intrigued by the product, buy some product and try it. If you think the product works and you feel comfortable about it, that opens the door to the next step. If you get the business, right, aspect of this and say, dude, this is like really huge. This is really huge. All of those kind of perfect storm forces, healthcare, Obamacare, and the reality is that we are all looking for a solution to save money on healthcare. If you get that business concept,
Well, not only that, but
then take the risk on the business.
yeah, technology. I mean, what a great time to
Yeah.
get involved technologically.
Internet-wise is going crazy.
Yeah.
So if you get that business thing, take advantage of that and trust that you're not getting a slimy product. This is the product that's got serious legs and is going to continue to move. Get that, then get your experience with the oils so that you have a compelling story about both. But like I said before, we tend to lead with the product because it's so strong. That's because it's easy to do. It turns out the business aspect is every bit as compelling and it's demonstratable. The product's demonstratable. I'll say it again. The product's demonstratable, the business is amazing. So if you get that, then invest the money in a larger kit. We're going to tell you about it. Invest the money in a larger kit because you need the oils to be able to socialize that with people, not just your friends. And we have more secret sauce we want to talk about. So.
Well, and so to wrap it up, somewhere on this page,
It's over here.
somewhere, up, down, right or left, somewhere there's a link that will take you to a place to buy the products. You can say, you know what, I'm just going to go try the products, I'm going to buy one of these, whatever whatever it is.
Buy a bottle.
Go buy it and test it out. Some of you are going to say, you know what, $35, the cost of a pizza.
Bring it.
You know, I'm on. I'm joining the team. I'm going to go for the ride. And, you know, there's a chance that the wheels could come off the bus and that it could all explode. I would say that's about that big.
Right.
As opposed to the potential for success is much, much greater. Therefore, that's why we're in it.
Good
And
going.
then there are some people that are going to say, you know what, not only can I join the team, but I can bring knowledge, experience, information, niche. You know, I can bring additional stuff to help all of us succeed and to help you build your own business.
Right.
And those are the people that we really are looking forward to working with. We want to help anyone. This is an open invitation to whoever wants to join. And, you know, you have my commitment that Doug and I will work extensively to help you succeed.
Yeah. We tell that to our people all the time. I mean, you've heard me say it. We're really here for y'all, and we really mean that. So when we do leadership training, when we do classes, when we do product training, it's really all about to continue to shore up the people that are doing stuff. And don't get me wrong, we personally enroll people as well. I didn't send one of my team to talk to you.
Right.
I came to talk to you myself. And the reality is we do that work because we believe it. I mean, we really do, you know, use the stuff.
And so we're using the technology, the things that we know, to get this message out on a mass scale.
Yeah.
And that's how
Bring
the
it.
people that are watching, that's how you're going to benefit, that's how I'll benefit, that's how people that join us will benefit.
Yep.
By the communications available to us, by the technology that's available to us. And it's inexpensive, there's huge upside, and you know, what do you got to lose, right?
Mm.
Isn't it at the end of the day, it's like, well, what have I got to lose? What have I got to lose? Not much.
Yeah, and so I'm a positive guy, you know, I'd always flip it. I'd say, so what do I have to gain? And you have a ton to gain.
Well, and you're walking proof.
Yeah.
Not only you, but the other dozens of people that you know
Hundreds
personally.
of people.
Hundreds.
Hundreds. We can go on and on with that.
So anyway.
So you'll either have you're going to have a link over here. You put your name and address, or you're going to have a link that you buy product, or you're going to have a link. Or you're going to have a link that you say, I want to buy the kit, whichever kit it is, and just click on that and put the information in there, and it'll show up.
We welcome spectators. You know what? Now
That's right.
might not be the time. You might not have $35. That's okay. We get that.
Yep.
But if you want to spectate, if you want to watch the wheels come off the bus, or you want to watch this, explode exponentially,
Yep.
put your name and email in wherever it is on the page, and you know what? We'll stay in touch.
Right.
And it might not be today. It could be 18 months, just like me. But hey, maybe at some point in the road, the planets might line up, and you might just say, you know what? It's time to join them.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway,
So, over here, put your name over here,
do it.
or use this button.
All right. Thanks, Doug.
Thanks, Steve.
Thanks for sitting through this. Have a good day. Have a good morning, wherever you are, whatever time it is. Bless you.
If you speak Korean, we'd really like to talk to you.
Which actually, I'll just say the last thing. What we have and where we're going with technology is not limited to our pond here in Utah. I mean, this is going to be so big.
Huge.
It's so huge.
Massive.
It's international, and it's only going to get bigger. And you know what? I'm excited about it. I'm excited for you, because it's going to be awesome. I'm excited for me because I think it's going to be awesome. And I'm kind of excited for whoever might be out there that might be scratching their head going, I wonder if I could be that person that it's going to be awesome for.
Well, I hope that everybody out there says, he does what? Well, I could do that.
Yeah.
Honest. I mean, I look at some of the guys that are pitching stuff on the internet right now, and I go, I could never do that. I couldn't get away with it without laughing.
Right.
I couldn't do that. And they're charging how much?
Yeah.
No way
Hundreds, thousands.
Exactly. No way I could keep a straight face. Okay, come to my seminar and pay $10,000. I could not keep a straight face. And they have to keep doing that over and over and over because they're really selling a service. It's not easily replicatable. They got to pony up. They got to be there. And this is not something that I have to be. We have teams in California right now. We only have teams in the U.S. We're working on teams in other places, international right now, but we only have teams in the U.S. And I cannot be in Sacramento, Los Angeles, San Diego, Denver, just to name some of the places in the West. Forget about Virginia, all at the same time. And as can be really candid, I can't even be there in the same month all at the same time without technology, number one. And number two, physically, we like to go visit these people because they like to see what we're thinking. They like to see what we're going. They like to hear from us. And there's a real camaraderie among these folks. They're just really fun people to work with.
Sweet.
Yeah, very cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks again.
Bye.